Hey everyone, it is September 26th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. The video is not investment advice, and this video is going to be a little shorter than my prior videos because there's really not much for me to update, as I still believe there is too much selling pressure in this market for Bitcoin to sustain moving higher, especially as I watch volume come in and volume come out. And the alts themselves are starting to have some negative divergence, some bearish divergence as prices going higher. The indicators are making lower highs. That is never a good sign for any asset, given that there's not some crazy intervention, some crazy pop, meaning that Bitcoin breaks through this red line area right around, maybe let's just say about 66.50, just to round it up. But given that there's no massive explosion followed by a significant increase in volume, meaning anything probably over 6.5 billion in 24-hour transactions, and that volume actually stays for once. Given that there's no significant move like that, I still believe Bitcoin is trekking downward. The big question is this a gigantic bear flag, or is it just more of a smaller bear flag forming in Bitcoin, which Bitcoin is notorious, if you go back on the chart, for creating tons of bear flags, and those bear flags never end well for Bitcoin. So there is a potential, at least, I mean, we can all clearly see this one right here, just as I draw it. But either way, I still think there's more downside for Bitcoin. And if we start to smash back down into the low 6,000 range and price does not immediately turn around from that zone like it did during this pump and dump right here, then I think we definitely have a date with the mid 5,000 range, potentially the low 5,000s. Now, if Bitcoin smashes through this area and it actually stays above that area, and the new volume that comes in stays for longer than, like, let's just say 48 hours, right? So 2 billion in additional 24-hour transactions actually stays for more than 48 hours, which I'd be surprised, but I will change my mind. Other than that, everything on my chart is showing downward pressure in Bitcoin, and each pump is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's just marginally hanging on above a recent high. And the only reason it's doing that is because there's a massive influx in volume that quickly washes right out, and then the trend resumes. And the overall trend is down, and it has been down since the 20,000 top. So we've created nothing but a series of successful lower highs, and we are creating kind of a mix of lower lows and higher lows. But the overall trend on everything I see, and especially when I just cut these lines in half and I just look at where this cross is, or this median line right between them both, you can obviously see there's a lot of downward pressure in this market. So again, until something significantly changes, I'm going to remain in my bear camp. I'm going to put my bear outfit on and stay warm and cozy in it, because that's really all I can see here. Doesn't mean there's not money to be made from the long side, as I do take the long trades every now and then, but it's just it's going to be rougher along the way, especially if we can't just freaking get to where we need to be, whether that's the low 5,000s, whether it's 4,000, it doesn't matter. Wherever price needs to settle down and this market needs to baseline and create a bottoming area, just let it do it, And instead, what I think is happening is the exchanges are doing everything in their power to keep their business model alive. There's no oversight in this market, and it can be good, but it's also a double-edged sword. If there's this blatant manipulation in this market, and again, they're just wrecking retail investors time and time again, and they're going to continue to do so, and there's no one that's going to stop them. And this is literally the golden age for anyone who owns an exchange or anyone that's a real big buyer in this market that has significant weight to push around. This is basically like a guaranteed like money tree almost, in a sense. Like I've never seen a market like this, and it's going to continue to be that honey hole for insane whips until something dramatically changes in this market. And I think that's why we see that volume washing out, right? And it's going to continue to do that. And the moment that I see that volume actually start to stick and we start to increase in volume, I'll start to change my mind. But other than that, there's just too many red flags in this market. There's too many pipe dreams. CNBC got a little negative. They definitely did. They said there was some more pain ahead. Obviously, they called the bottom almost perfectly. Price popped up, but no matter what, I do think the overall trend is down. So anyways, that's it for today. I'll do another video on Friday. If you do like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. And sorry for making it a short video, but there's really not much else to update on. It looks more of just a little relief rally until the eventual topple over occurs, unless there is some significant price change and volume change in this market.